Lovely.
Welcome to Paro episode 25. Welcome to our Silver Anniversary edition. Every time we open an episode, we have to mention what number it is, and here we are. It's great. It's the quarter centenary. How do you feel about that, Owen?
Well, I was going to say the 25th time, but it's actually the 26th time because that episode that we fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't even know it, you know? You
Absolute
wouldn't even
amateurs.
know. We're like pros.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
pros.
yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been great. It's great to be here. And how you been over the past week on?
Been pretty good. What about you?
Good condition. Yeah, grand. All the same. All quiet over here.
What's it like in this post-Soprano world?
Post-Soprano world. It's a bit lonely, to be honest. I dream about Tony every now and then, you know. I see him in my dreams. I actually did have a dream about The Sopranos, where I was a Scottish associate of the Soprano family. I don't know why I was Scottish, and then Silvio came over and kissed me on the cheek. You know the way they say hello and stuff. And then they all started laughing at me. And then I looked down and I was naked. But the last part didn't happen. But they did all laugh at me. And then I woke up. I was like, oh my god.
Take me back.
Yeah, T, please.
That's fucking gas.
So, yeah, it's been strange. I haven't got into a new TV show yet. I'll probably look at The Wire. So
good show.
Because I have a month left on Now TV and I have to use up that month. So
yeah, use it
why not?
wisely.
Why not?
You should watch Barry, man. Barry's a great show.
What's that again?
It is Bill Hader as a hitman,
yeah.
and you know, suffering from like PTSD and stuff like that. And he's like joins his theater group as a form of coping with it. Basically, it's very, very good. It's really, really funny as well.
Yeah, Bill Hader's a legend.
Bill Hader is an amazing actor. Honestly,
he's actually amazing. He's so good.
He was the best part in It Chapter 2. It's not saying a lot. It's not saying a lot, but he was the best thing.
He was the
in
best
Chapter
part.
2.
Yeah, I saw some sketch he did with SNL a few years ago. I saw it like a month ago or something like that, where it's an Irish dating show, and he's like a guy from Donegal, and like the whole point is Irish people are inbred, and I was like, I felt like I should have been offended, but it was he sort of played it off so well that I laughed at the jokes, you know.
Well, to be fair, I think we might have a few listeners from Donegal, and let me tell you.
Well, it's about all Irish people, to be fair, and they're all cousins and stuff. It's like gas, terrible what the Americans get up to. But yeah,
Awful Yanks.
yeah, fuck's sake.
No offense to our Yank listeners.
We're really reliant on them at the moment. So yeah, what have you been watching?
You are the second wave.
Yeah.
What have I been up to? I watched actually an Irish movie this week. I watched the new Wolfwalkers by the same studio that did The Breadwinner. Cannot for the life of me remember what they're called, but they're really good. They're a good studio, and this is probably their best film. Yeah, I think I've only seen this and Breadwinners, and it's like kind of a toss up between the two. But nah, definitely Wolfwalkers is a better movie.
What's Breadwinners?
Breadwinners is the one about the girl in Afghanistan, I want to say, and it's about her living in what's the capital of Afghanistan?
Kabul.
Nah, fuck that.
It is.
Just no. It's like that's not what it's called. Where's the place that like the Taliban captured first or something? It was like starts with a T.
I don't know.
Or is it Iran? Fuck, I can't remember. Maybe it's Iran. Can't remember what it is. But it's basically her dealing with like the Taliban in her city. And it's very good. But Wolfwalkers is about where are they? It's Kilkenny. And
real record scratch moment right
yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it's based in Kilkenny during the time of like the Brits being here and everything, and I can't remember the girls' names, but it follows one girl who's British and this other girl who is a wolf walker, meaning that she can talk to wolves, and when she falls asleep she turns into a wolf, like her spirit leaves her body and transforms into a wolf while she lays sleeping. And it's just basically about their relationship, and it's also about like colonialism and like deforestation and stuff like that.
When is it set?
1640, I want to say, or 1680, or 1740, or 1780. I can't remember. It's like around that time, but it's good. It's visually, man. Oh my god, like I've never seen a film that looks like this. It is beautiful. It is like there's no fault I could have with the stylistic animation in this film. It is amazing. It looks so cool. It looks amazing. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, is it the guys who did Song of the Sea?
Yes.
And Secret of Kells?
Yes.
All those boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the name of that studio? But yeah, the Irish films. You know, you love to see it. Always getting Oscars and stuff.
I had a few like kind of minor faults with the movie. I felt like the story at a certain point didn't hit me the way that like I felt like it should have, and for a bit I kind of like wandered around and I didn't know, like, you know, I was waiting for the beats to hit, you know what I mean, because it was quite obvious what was gonna happen, and then because of that, because I was like waiting for the beats to hit, it didn't hit as hard as they should have. But it's still very good. It's still very, very good. You know, maybe not the best representation of Ireland. Like, the little girl, right, that's a Wolfwalker, her voice just, like, annoyed me because I just imagined it's what Americans think all Irish people sound like.
Like, what, like...
She's like...
Oh, I'm a wolf, or whatever, you're like...
No, yeah, literally spot on. She's like... She
Really?
gets up at one stage. She gets up at one stage, because I'm already slipping into the accent. She gets up at one stage, and it's basically like, we need to save someone. And she's like, we're gonna eat you, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Would you be well? Would you be well? We don't talk of that at all.
But yeah, it was still very good though. I really, really enjoyed it. Very, very good. Definitely one of the, like, easily the best, like, animated, in terms of animation, like, films I've seen in a very long time.
What about anime though?
Yeah, anime does some cool shit, but like it doesn't do well. Some anime definitely does the same stuff. Like Mob Psycho 100 has a very distinct style. It's really, really cool. But like in this, like when the wolves are running beside each other, they kind of like flow into each other, if you know what I mean, and it becomes like one object moving while still being like a detail to like that you can you can still distinguish each wolf. It's really, really fucking cool. The wolves look amazing, and there's also, and I didn't notice this, as well, watched it with me. When you're in the city, because it's like one girl's in the city, one girl's out in the woods. When you're in the city, it's all straight lines. Like everything is straight lines, and then when you're in the forest, it's all circles and like patterns, and there's no like, there are straight lines, but they like weave into one another and stuff like that, and it's a lot of green versus a lot of gray and stuff like that. It's very, very good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Interesting period of time. You never really hear about it. There's never any stories set down.
Nah,
you know?
man, not really, except for a load of fucking famine movies.
Yeah, but sure, the famine's 100 years after that, you know.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
Madness. Famine movies are like, they're always a bad idea as well, because it's like you can't have a happy ending. It's like the Love and Mercy comparison we had 2 weeks ago or whatever, where it's like you can't have one listen to the 60s without the 80s, because it's just depressing. It's like the famine. Very weird comparison I made there, but like the famine, you can't. With the famine, it's like, oh, this was awful, and it's just like, it just stayed that way for
It just stayed that way.
years.
Nothing ever, like, and even the shit afterwards was still fucking awful.
Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, Irish movies.
That's before multiple attempts of like revolution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, it's just not good vibes.
Not good vibes.
But someone has to find a way to do it properly. I've never actually seen Black 47. Have you?
No.
Yeah, I probably won't.
No.
But yeah. But an Irish film that I did watch, which is very good, I watched The Killing of a Sacred Deer there today.
By the guy that did Nimic as well.
The guy that did Nimic and Dogtooth and The Lobster and all that stuff. Lognith
and The Favourite's very good.
The Favourite's so good.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer, financed in part by the Board Scanán na hÉireann, which was, when I found that out, I was like, wow.
At least they're doing something right.
Yeah, they actually got one right. They got one right eventually.
I think they fund a load of his movies.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure The Favourite is like a Irish production thing as well.
Why are they?
Not
Why are they
100%
giving him
sure,
all
but
the
I'm
money?
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know what the
He's
fuck this
Greek.
guy's like tie to Ireland is. Should definitely
Yeah.
look into it. I guarantee. I feel like there might not be any. It's just like he's just some fucking mad cunt that just came into Ireland, and it's like, all right,
Okay. Yeah.
I want to make a
Yeah.
movie and I want a dog to get kicked to death in it.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is really weird. Have you seen The Killing of a
Yes.
Sacred Deer? Yeah.
I think it's very, very good. I think it's
Yeah.
weird. I think it's weird as fuck.
It is very weird. It's based on a play apparently from like thousands of years ago, like the Greeks, one of those Greek plays.
It feels like a Greek tragedy as well.
Yeah. Yeah, in the sense that like it feels really alien the way they like everyone is like a robot and everyone behaves in really bizarre ways. And there's like no like broader consequences for anything that happens really. You know.
Until there's a lot of consequences.
Yeah, still things yeah. So wait, like so it starts
Oh yeah,
with
do you want to
Col-
wait? Spoiler alert for Killing of a Sacred Deer. You should definitely watch it. I know this is a bit weird considering what our conversation was last week, but like we were talking about like how spoilers don't matter. But you know.
yeah. No, but I won't really be able to spoil too much because I can't remember a lot. But like, it's basically Colin Farrell just like fucks it up. He just kills it in this film, which he has a tendency to do recently. And your man Barry Keoghan,
Amazing.
another
is
Dublin
so
man.
good.
very strange looking child, but an amazing actor.
He is. He's a strange looking dude.
Yeah, he's from D1, I think, and he always plays the same character though. It's like this weird kid who is vaguely creepy, and he always gets fucked up. That's like in Dunkirk, Love Hate, Killing of a Sacred Deer. He's in some other film as well.
He's in a few films. He's in a.
Yeah,
He's
and
getting
he always
bigger
ends
as well.
up bloodied and on the floor. But
Not doing too good.
he's not doing too good. Yeah, but yeah, it's like Colin Farrell and him are meeting up and just talking and stuff. I had no idea what was going on.
Man, I actually
till
can't
an
remember
hour
what the
in.
I can't remember what the reason for that is either.
Yeah, there's never really established what the reason is. Basically, Colin Farrell was performing surgery on his dad, this kid's dad, 10 years previous, and that dad ended up having a heart attack during the surgery and dying. So the kid is mentally deranged or whatever. He's really weird. So Colin Farrell feels guilty and is trying to sort of mentor him or something
trying to
like
be
that.
his dad.
Yeah, trying to replace the father figure that he took away, but he never acknowledges. It's not like he murdered him. It's just sort of he feels bad about it. But then, as the film goes on, it becomes apparent that the kid actually does blame Colin Farrell for killing his dad, and he says it. And he's basically placed a curse on the family. Which,
he's a witch.
yeah, I don't know what happens. It's like magic, and the whole family starts to fall apart in really bizarre ways. The kids lose the ability to walk, their legs go numb and stuff, and they refuse to eat, and I don't know, but all the while everyone talks in this really weird kind of theatrical kind of thing.
The only way that you could describe. You can't even describe the way that they talk. It's if you've seen one of his movies, every character talks like that.
Yeah.
And in The Lobster, I think it's way more of that. The Lobster is goes really, really hard with the way that they talk in this, because they talk in a really distant way is the only way I can just kind of describe it. Very I think you said there very theatrical and very performative nearly.
Yeah, very affected, There's also loads of weird scenes where the kid's dad tries to ride Colin Farrell, and it's never really picked up again. It just sort of happens, and the kid, it's the kid from mid-90s.
Yeah.
And the girl is
Bob.
in Bob. Yeah. Bob gets fucked up.
Bob gets fucked
Spoiler
up.
alert. He gets fucked up. And then the girl is she was in The Other Lamb, which I mentioned previously on this podcast, which is on Movie, which is a pretty good film. Also an Irish film, I think. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really much more to say about it, but basically it gets really, really weird.
It's all very robotic in how it's even shot. There's a lot of whites and really light
It's really
blues,
sterile, yeah.
and feels very clean, nearly like sterile. I think you said there.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like a hospital.
yeah,
He's a doctor and stuff. And it's
and
always
like
focusing on his hands.
yeah,
Like his hands are a big thing.
beautiful hands.
Yeah, you've really beautiful hands. It's said multiple times throughout the film. It's like there's a close up of Colin Farrell's hands. They're just normal hands. It's like,
But I think it's like there's blood on these hands, if you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
the how to describe it, like Colin Farrell is like a murder, like he's like a murderer, if you know what I mean, like quotation marks, because I can't remember what the real reason is. I can't remember if he actually does, if it was actually his fault. I think it turns out that it actually is.
It was because he'd had 2 drinks or something like that. He had like 2 pints before he went into the surgery with the kid's dad.
Yeah.
And they find this out. His wife, Nicole Kidman, finds this out by like giving his anesthetician or whatever like a hand job in the car, and he tells her this, which is also a weird scene. It's just a bit like never really followed up on either. But yeah, it's established that it is basically his fault, but in a way that's like, it's almost, I don't know why they included it, because it's like, it's really like subtle. It's like, it's something that would play in the back of his mind and not something that necessarily we'd really fault him for as an audience. Could you hear me there? Yeah, there you go.
Kind of, not really.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I couldn't really hear what you said there.
Well, we'll just play it off.
Yeah,
because it sort of worked. I just kept going. So
okay, grand. Yeah, no, 100%. But I think that like the I think that the I think that like the hands thing, right, was about like
and the hand job
and the hand job, whatever, right? The hands had to deal with, like, you know, Colin Farrell like is to blame in some way for the murder, or like not the murder but the death of this like father. So like everything that like kind of like everything else covers that up, that Colin Farrell like is like a killer, like he is responsible for death and there's blood on his hands, but you know the rich lavish lifestyle that he lives kind of like covers that up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're very affluent people, very rich, you know, very well off.
They're living it up, bro.
Yeah, they're living it up until things, you know, they get cursed by this weird kid and his crazy ma. And basically, he's like, they explain the rules. Like, Barry Keoghan explains the rules to Colin Farrell at one point. He's like, you have to sacrifice a member of your family, otherwise all of you will die. And it's something that, like, as a viewer, you're more used to sort of seeing in the context of one of those old, like, Greek plays, or like something from antiquity or whatever. Like, it's not really used these days. It's so could you hear me there?
Man, I can't hear anything that you're saying, bro. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't hear anything. My laptop is shit in the bed. Hold on a second. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, no, you're grand now. Fucking hell.
Okay. Apologies for the technical difficulties. But yeah, basically I was saying the narrative isn't something you're used to seeing in a modern film. It's like, you know, I put a curse, I put a plague on your houses, and then you're supposed to take it seriously as a viewer. It's like it works, you know, it does work. It's very self-contained as well. It's not like there's any social consequences for what happens. You know, like the end scene, like that just happens.
Yeah, it's very insular. It's very personal.
Yeah, very personal film, you know. But yeah, it's good. It's good. And support Irish films. I suppose.
Support Irish films. We actually do have some good films.
Yeah, a few. Definitely.
Amongst the famine movies.
Yeah. Yeah, we just need a good famine movie. We'll get right
I think
in that now.
one more will really, really do it. Just a quick update, actually, because I have no idea what we were talking about there, because I was gone for half of it. So, I watched Vampyr, kind of based on your recommendation from last week, from what you were saying about it. Just like a little quick update on it. It's very good, very, very good. I enjoyed it. I like the way that it's very much a film that's like in between silent movies and talkies.
Yeah. With the intertitles and stuff. But
yeah, because like
it's
basically a silent movie, but it's not. Like, it still uses the techniques of silent films to get across the story, but also has characters talking in it.
Yeah. Because I thought it was a silent film, and then she just starts talking, and I was like, it's like, what the fuck, you know? Like what? Like I don't know. It's just, but it is. It really pays off. It really works well. Because they sort of use both. It's not like a gimmick, because back then obviously talkies were like a new thing. So they sort of used play to the strengths of both techniques, I suppose, like silent film and the sound aspects of it.
Yeah, 100%. Because it allows, because it's like predominantly like a silent movie, it kind of like relies on like the actual acting, but then like when characters talk, it's like it's really important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's not just noise, you know. Like we're almost so used to noise nowadays. It's just like constant. There's always background music or like sound effects or just people talking dialogue for the sake of dialogue. And then like Vampyr, it's just like, you know, you have a few words every 5 minutes, and then you have intertitles, and the rest is just sort of camera work. So it's like a
really cool camera work as well.
Yeah,
like
it's really modern. Yeah.
Some of the it's really modern. Some of the shots, like the quick like pan across, like following the girl walking to the doors, like that's good camera work. That's like when you know it's good camera work when you notice it, if you know what I mean. Like oh, I like the way that it's like the way that the camera is moving or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It's
good.
It's like a little palette cleanser, you know. It's like I always like to go back to something like that, something from way back when. It's like put some context to everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, it does, because you can see like where, you know, certain experiments certain mutations, I guess, is the better way to say it. Like certain mutations didn't work and didn't continue on, while others did. But like, what's kind of like cool, I guess, or whatever, is that those mutations like were the things that made films more profitable.
Yeah.
And reasons to get people to keep coming back to the cinema to keep seeing this shit. And that's like where the mutations came from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like the profit motive or whatever, or like you know, maybe Scorsese's idea of the amusement park, you know, sort of a carnival cinema. It's all about, you know, getting butts in seats, keeping people engaged, make sure that they pay up, you know, sit there for 2 hours and make sure they don't look away. Whereas like Vampyr is just like sort of, it's just doing its thing. It's just sort of, it plods along, it goes at its own pace. It's like sometimes it moves fast. Most of the time it moves extremely slowly.
Yeah, real slowly. Real slow.
And it's only like 80 minutes long, but
it's 70 minutes long.
Is it? Oh god, yeah. But it works.
But I think that's like, and that's like so blatantly like why this shit, like, you know, this, as we said last week, or as you told us last week, you know, there's riots to get refunds after this movie. Like this mutation.
That's how boring this movie was.
This mutation really didn't work.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's like the film was so boring. There was a riot afterwards. Yeah. They just needed their money's worth, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch Joan of Arc because of this now. I'm definitely gonna watch that soon.
Yeah, I saw that movie today. Have a look. That's acclaimed.
I saw that and I was like, no, we're gonna go for Vampyr first because I think this came out later.
Yeah, Joan of Arc was first, I think. But then Vampyr,
was it?
Yeah. Joan of Arc's like 26, I think.
What?
Or something like that.
Really? Holy shit.
And then Vampyr's 32.
Man, that film is old.
That is
Holy
old.
Shit. What's the oldest film that you've seen, actually?
The oldest film that I've ever seen.
Besides that fucking, like, moon film, like, you know that one?
The guy with the thing in his eye.
Yeah.
The oldest film I've seen.
1928. Holy shit, that's old.
Maybe Nosferatu, 2021, 22, isn't it? I think it's 22. Nosferatu.
I've never seen Nosferatu, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it, but I saw it on Netflix back in the day, and I thought it was boring AF.
Oh, The Kid is the oldest I've seen. Charlie Chaplin, 1921.
Nice.
Oh, Metropolis as well is very good. Ever see that?
Yeah. Was that, when's that?
1927.
Alright.
That's old as fuck.
When's Dr. Caligari? Oh, 1920. There we go. That's my oldest film. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Man, films be old.
1920. That's 101 years old. Mad stuff.
How long is it? Like, is it like 60 minutes as well?
It's 74 minutes. It's
I
think it's on Amazon. That's where I watched it like a few months ago. So
sweet. I say it's on Mubi somewhere as well. But it's good to get those films that are like palate cleansers, just something to kind of like sit with and kind of, you know, chill out and just watch the cool visuals mostly.
Yeah, stroke your chin. It's like, so that's where that came from.
Damn, I'm fucking smart as fuck for watching this movie.
This film is black and white.
Like,
damn, I'm so smart.
And it's half in silence.
It's actually not a silent film. It's actually a talkie and a silent film together, man. Yeah.
Revolutionary, man. You should see it.
It was unheard of at the time, man.
It's by this guy called Dreyer.
There were riots afterwards. They just didn't get it, those Germans, man.
Yeah, no, good movie though. Good movie.
It
Enjoyed
is,
it a lot. And I can't wait to see Joan of Passion. What's it called? Passion of Joan of Arc, or what's
The
it called?
Passion of the Joan of Arc.
Of the Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Is it the Joan of Arc? Is she not just Joan of Arc? Oh, let me look this up.
Did you know her name wasn't Joan?
What was her name?
I don't know. It was like John or something. It was some weird French version.
The Passion of Joan of Arc.
Oh, okay. Yeah, her name was something else. She was fucking crazy though.
And Martyr. Yeah, my recommendation for next 2 weeks is Martyrs.
Yeah, let's go for it.
No way would I do that.
Yeah, that would not be it. Not end well, I don't think. Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about fucking
Let's get going.
rev up our chainsaws and slice into this new remake?
We should have done sound effects for all them.
We can do it with the next one.
Yeah, I can do it with this one, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake 2003, produced by the great Michael Bay.
With a star-studded cast as well. This cast is the most, by far, even after The Next Generation, this is the most impressive cast the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series has seen as of yet.
I don't know, man. Having Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger is pretty fucking impressive.
Zellweger, she's a nobody. She's a
Jerry
nobody.
Maguire, bro.
She's a nobody these days. Matthew McConaughey, he does sort of carry it. But this has Jessica Biel.
The guy from from Full Metal Jacket.
The guy, yeah, Ermi. The guy from Under the Dome.
Who the fuck is that?
It's a TV series. And the guy from, who's also in a lot of things. Jonathan Tucker is his name. But basically everyone in this film, like actually, like you know the way with the first one, the actors, none of those actors ever did anything ever again.
No.
Like all the actors in this went on to, every actor in this went on to do something else, basically, you know.
Or was already from something else.
Yeah, it was already kind of famous. But like that's the whole shtick, isn't it? You know, it's like a Michael Bay like sort of exploitation film in the sense that it's exploiting you know, the sanctity
the
of
audience's
yeah,
money.
yeah. Yeah, it's exploiting your pocket basically. So you know, it's just basically just a teen like slasher film, isn't it?
Oh, it is the most teen slasher movie ever.
Yeah. It's so basic. It's ridiculous.
This is even more generic than fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Because at least in that one, you know, it was innovative by how they just didn't show you the kills.
Yeah, true, yeah. It had never been done before.
Yeah.
But like the thing is with this film it's way more generic than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 was trying to be generic and it failed. It was so bad that it couldn't even get to the standard of being like an acceptable slasher film. This film is going for the same thing, like a standard sort of rip-off of an exploitation of the franchise, just trying to make money. But it actually, in my opinion, it succeeds. It goes all out, and I think it works.
I mean, yeah, I kept flip-flopping back and forth, thinking do I... Like, what do I, like, like, why do I hate this movie? Like, was basically what I was asking myself. And I was like, okay, does it have anything that I like about in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Even, like, the weirder ones. Like, there's some bits in, like, The Next Generation that I enjoy because they're so fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
The Illuminati just showing up.
Illuminati.
Does it have, like, either, like, the cool, weird shit from the first one, or just the weird shit from the Next Generation? I was like, no. Okay. Does it have anything else beside a good, like, a cool couple of shots and, like, you know, concepts, whatever? No, like it only has like a few little tiny bits that I like, and everything else is just shit. I hate so much about this movie. I hate the way that it looks because it's like
Yeah, everything's underexposed. Everything.
like it feels like it was like trying to replicate the like brownness of the original one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like this very like intense heat, but this one everything just feels everything's grey. They went for the wrong fucking color, and it just looks like shit.
Yeah, it's like they printed the film like as it should look, and then dropped it in the toilet. Or like, oh fuck, like that was the only print we have. You know, it's
Yeah.
like everything is just like so underexposed. It's ridiculous, and it looks bad. I don't know
It
why they
looks
went with that choice.
So ugly. It looks so bad.
Yeah, like I know. When I was reading up about it, there was not that there's much to read about really, but like the guy who made it was saying that he wanted to sort of distinguish this film. Like he didn't want to copy, he didn't want to just remake shot for shot kind of the first one. So he's like, he said he went out and like made like deliberate, distinctive stylistic choices, which included like the color palette and stuff. But there is no color palette really because white isn't a color. It's just a mix of gray and like whites and stuff like that. So. And,
I mean, I commend you for like he had a good idea. His execution of all of his idea was fucking horrendous. Like the way that it differs from the original one, just like I did like the end chase scene. I did like that. I thought that was a cool chase when they got to the meat factory. But also I was like, how the fuck did Leatherface just suddenly pop up there? Like that was just a jump scare.
Yeah, man, why
did that was cheap. I didn't like that jump scare.
Yeah, but she escapes from the house because this kid gives her directions, and then she's running away, but then she turns and walks straight into like a slaughterhouse. That never made sense to me. Well, like the last half of the film, I hated the first half of the film.
I hated
it's
the first
so
half.
bad. It's like there's like it's like whatever about like stylistic choices and like trying to be his own, trying to make his
Everyone
own kind of movie.
is unlikable.
Yeah, you hate everybody. And like there's no subtlety whatsoever. Like it starts out the first frame and you get the fucking the riff from Sweet Home Alabama, and it's not even on the radio like in the first one. It's like it's not like playing, it's not diegetic sound, or whatever within the film. It's just playing underneath.
Music.
Yeah, it's just music playing in the background, and they're on their way to a Skinner concert, and Franklin isn't in a wheelchair. He's just some guy, and
he likes weed.
Yeah, yeah. They smoke a lot of weed in the first 20 minutes for no reason really.
Because they're hippies. They're like hippies.
Yeah.
Quotation marks, or whatever. But there's stuff before that. Do you like? Okay, so I remember seeing the trailer to this movie, right? And it is the opening shot of the film, which is the black and white two cops coming in, looking around or whatever, right? And then it was the end of the movie, which is that's like the final shot, and that was the trailer that I saw, right? And I thought I completely forgot about this. I thought that was real when I first saw it because I was going through like serial killer shit, and then like looking at like Ed Gein and like this was like, oh god, I must have been like 8 or 9 or something, or 10. I don't know how old I was. I was old enough to have my iPod anyway. Fuck, maybe it was like 12 or 13 actually. I might have been really stupid, but I saw the trailer to this, and I thought it was real. It scared the fucking shit out of me. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this fucking movie.
It actually is. It's a cool kind of setup though. I forgot that was the setup.
I like the setup, and it's like exactly like the first one. Like it's the exact same wording and everything. But like, well done. You took something that I liked from the original one and just completely like reused it. So
Well, I like the sort of found footage aspect of it. Like it's an investigation.
The found footage was cool.
That was pretty unique and pretty cool.
But yeah, what you're saying about like the characters, holy shit! Like they state their like their character in like the first like 3 lines we meet them.
yeah. I'm the nerd. I'm the cool guy. I'm the girl. It's like you can tell who's gonna survive. Like who's who. Like which archetype fits each character straight away. Which is like maybe he was going for that, but it's not a good thing in a film because you basically know everyone except Jessica Biel is going to be dead within an hour. As soon as they say the first line, you're just waiting for it to happen, basically. Yeah. Plus, like, no one's like what you're saying. No one's likable in this. Even Franklin
They're
is
all
like Franklin.
assholes.
Franklin is a cunt in this. Like, he's actually the worst out of them. Even though in the first one he's like the sensible guy and he's like sort of sweet and stuff. In this, he's saying that they should dump a dead body on the side of the road, and like even the girl as well. Like the way they find the girl, like the hitchhiker
Oh,
in
she's
this.
just like, oh, I'm. Oh, so you mean? I thought you meant the one that's like part of the crew as well.
Yeah, she's a hitchhiker as well. Yeah.
She's like, did you ever hear about astrology? Like she says shit like that, and like she's like, oh, I can't believe we only just met each other like for like 24 hours ago, and it's just the two of them just eating the face off each other, and just like, oh,
weird, and it's like everyone's positioned in the same way, and they have the Franklin character just sort of staring at them, and you assume, oh,
yeah, I was shocked when that dude when that stood up.
yeah, and you're assuming like, oh, poor, like this Franklin guy has to stare at these people kissing. But then, like, he stands up in the later scenes. Like, why was he just staring at them the entire time? You know, he's like, "Can you please stop doing that?"
He's just a perv.
He's just a weirdo. But like the hitchhiker character in this is just
Mila Jokovic.
Is that her?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the girl from
What?
Resident Evil movies.
What? I didn't know that. Did not notice that at all. But like, it illustrates the difference in like subtlety and how they actually go about moving the plot forward. Because like in the original, you have the hitchhiker.
This thing is Grandpa hitting you down in the back of the head. Like,
yeah,
this is like blunt and like no subtlety whatsoever.
Yeah, they don't do anything. Like in the original, you have the hitchhiker. You're like, oh, this guy's weird, you know, and he does all this weird shit, and then he flies off. But like, you feel unsettled, but you don't know exactly what it is or like why it's so unsettling. You know something weird's gonna happen. And this one is a hitchhiker, and straight away it's like they almost run her over because she's like a zombie on the side of the road, and she's like, they're all dead. You're gonna be dead too. And then she like, as if the point hasn't been driven far enough through our brains, she blows her own brains out, and like
now,
everything
that was a cool
goes
shot though.
through her head.
The shot from the start of the van and pulling out and goes through the bullet hole. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That's cool, but like, don't do that at all. Like, don't have her kill herself. That's just stupid.
Oh my god! But like, I was watching, I was like, wait, because like they pick her up on the side of the road, and they continue on the way that she was walking. And only at a certain point does she freak out, saying, "Don't go that way! Don't go this way! Turn around! Turn around!" It's like, you were walking in that direction. Also, how the fuck did you get to where you are? When, like, I thought she was running away from, like, the Slaughter family or the Sawyer family, whatever the fuck they're called.
The Hewitt family,
Hewitt family. I thought she was walking, like, running away from them. No, she's walking towards them, acting as if she... That was confusing. I didn't like that.
I didn't really... I didn't pick up on that, but, like, I'm still not sure what her role was. I know she was part of some family.
To be the warning, I guess.
Yeah, but, like, it's not a warning. It's like, this is what's going to happen. She literally says, "This is like you're all gonna die." It's like, well, thanks for spoiling the movie, basically, because there's not much else to the film, really.
But what I think is like, weird about the film is that like Jessica Biel, her character is always like the one pushing. Like every decision she makes is what drives them down this path. Like you can very clearly see, like, oh no, like other characters wanted to do something which would have got them out of this situation. Whereas in the original one, like, it's just inevitable. Like, this was always going to happen. Like, the stars had a line, and there was no way, like, no matter what these characters did, they were going to die. But in this one, it is very much the characters are the reason why they get into this situation. Because, like, they're literally like, nah, like, this is weird. Like, we should leave the body, with someone else or something, because we can't wait around for the sheriff or whatever, and they're right, because he's a piece of shit and he kills them.
But like, what would you do in that situation? Like, you have to report it yourself, like, Yeah,
I know.
It's just the fact there's no they didn't have phones, obviously.
Or no, they didn't want to wait around at the shop or something.
Because they
could have just waited there.
But like, someone's killed. Someone's killed themselves in the back of the van, and like that happens, and then Jessica Biel's like, she goes to her boyfriend. She's like, I just want to go home, and he's like, I know. So you admit that like this whole thing's like it's fucked. Like you aren't going to the Skinner concert. Why would you go to a Skinner concert after someone's committed suicide in your van? But like they're still like, the Franklin character's still like, come on guys, let's get out of here. Like it's like, there's a dead body in your van.
They're
like,
all assholes.
Just bring it to the local town and just drop it off there. Like report it, whatever. I don't know. Silly stuff.
They're all assholes.
Yeah,
though.
they're all horrendous. Well, the boyfriend is all right, like.
Nah,
But,
he's an asshole as well.
he's okay. Like, it's the Franklin character. I've a bone to pick with
No,
him.
the Franklin character and the dude with the blonde hair. I
Yeah.
hated the two of them. They were just about weird. I didn't like them at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, this thing brought up the kill count for like the entire franchise. Like nearly doubled it. Like from like the the family and or Leatherface killing people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an extended family in this as well.
Like, they're a massive family. Holy shit.
Yeah, they got a kid and all. And there's no real continuity though. And like, how is the sheriff related to them? Like, the sheriff is a different name, Sheriff Hoyt. But they're all called
don't know.
Hewitts. You know, it's just you're like colluding or whatever. It's I
don't
think it
know,
works
I didn't
though.
like that. I didn't
I
like the
think it
family at
works.
all.
I think it works all together. I think it's like a perfectly acceptable early 2000s slasher film.
No, I don't think so. I think it sucks. I think it's so bad. I think it's beyond generic. I think it does a few cool things. Like I like that shot where Leatherface is after killing the boyfriend, and then he's coming after like Jessica Biel and the two others or whatever, and he's chainsawing the other one, and then he looks up and you like he's wearing the boyfriend's face while looking at Jessica Biel, and you're just like, oh, that's fucked. That is fucked.
That's not good.
And the dude with the one leg was not doing good either. Holy shit, he got fucked up as well.
I thought he escaped, but then I was like, he's still on the hook. Like he just keeps going up and down on the hook. Then Jessica Biel gets thrown down there as well, and he's like, "Please kill me" or whatever.
She stabs him in the stomach.
Yeah, she stabs him in the belly. It's like
that's the worst way to kill him.
Yeah, he should have been like, "Oh fuck, why did you do that?" Yeah, that was. But he dies immediately. He just like slumps. It's like that was so stupid. But you know what I really liked? I liked Leatherface's introduction, like his official introduction with the chainsaw, when the blonde lad and Jessica Biel are in the gaff, and the old man starts like stomping his staff, and he's like a signal to Leatherface to come in, and he pops in, and it's like the chainsaw, something about the way the sound design or whatever they had, it's really satisfying. Like Leatherface in this is way more of a threat, and way more.
Oh my god, he's a beast in this.
Yeah, he's a heavy lad in this one. You know, like you actually feel the sort of the threat he poses, and he is scary as well. Unlike the other sequels, really.
Yeah, he is. He is scary, and he's like, it's way more sadistic as well, because like, and that's another thing I didn't like about the family. Like, they're just at this stage, they're just killing for killing. They're just doing this. Like, it is for the movie, if you know what I mean, as opposed to the original one.
It's been like that for like two movies now.
Yeah, I know. But this one like was way more obvious because it's a remake of the original one.
Yeah, fair.
But like, and how the family are like way more sadistic and way more like enjoying the pleasure of killing someone. Because like in the original one, like Leatherface like stuck a girl up on the hook or whatever, but then he killed her like pretty soon afterwards. Like that dude is like hanging there for ages with his legs sawed off.
Yeah, there wasn't really you didn't really see the business side of it. Like they have a whole like slaughterhouse area, I suppose, like where he like cuts the meat and stuff. And you assume he works. I assume they work in the local factory.
I assume so too, but I have no idea.
But you never see any of it. And there's only like an allusion to the barbecue thing, like the whole way they sell human meat. Like you just see a sign before they go to like the petrol station, but like they never buy anything, and it's just they just sort of leave, and that's it. Like it does leave out loads from the original in like a bad way.
Yeah,
and just sort of waters it down. But it's, you can't, like at this stage you have to embrace the fact that the series will never ever reach the heights of the original, and this film I think embraces that fact. It just sort of is like, this is going to be an absolute piece of shit exploitation slasher film, which everyone loved in the early 2000s, and that's what it is.
Man, I was only realizing now as well, the three dudes like get fucked up. Each one has a brutal death, and then the girl just gets chainsawed on the ground and nothing ever becomes of her. Like she's just gone. But like the three dudes, one of them gets like hit in the head, his like face peeled off and worn as a mask. One dude gets his legs sawed off and then hung on hooks. And then the third dude gets like psychologically fucked with the sheriff with the gun and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then gets a bottle smashed into his face. then is hung up on a spike as well and sawed from the balls upwards.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, it reminded
Like,
me of
it is
that bone tomahawk scene.
brutal.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I didn't
poor
feel
lad, he
bad
got
for Franklin.
fucked.
Fuck him.
Nah,
He's a
Franklin,
bad
he
guy.
deserved the most. He's a
He
fucking-
deserved it,
All
yeah.
three of them. All three of them
He-
are assholes.
He was just slowing her down as well. He's there limping along. I would have been like, see
Mm.
you, Franklin. Like, I have to get out of here.
Get the
But,
fuck out of here. Get yourself a wheelchair.
yeah, well, maybe that's like a reference or something. Ah, that must be a reference, yeah.
I say it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Fuck's sake. But yeah, so I didn't mind it. Like my final verdict has to be a positive review of the remake.
Oh, that's all. I noticed one thing as well. Actually, I'm just looking through my notes. One of the cars in the on the land. You know the bit when they're walking around or whatever, and they find like a picture of like Mila Jovovich or whatever. One of the cars that they walk by is the van from the original film. It's the same model.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the van in this one's a bit weird. It's like black. It looks
Yeah,
really
I
bad.
didn't like that van. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a good van.
That's not a hippie van at all.
Oh god, I just read that. Right, so I hate nail shit. Like in any film.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was the worst. Like that was worse than the nails getting fucking like spiked through the hand in the third one. His nails like bending backwards was awful.
I didn't really see it. Is it shown that graphically?
Oh man, like you just see his nails and they just bend backwards. It looks horrible.
That's grim. Yeah. Nails. No.
Oh shit, and we see Leatherface without the mask as well.
Yeah, he's no nose.
Yeah.
I thought that was
He's got
gonna
a
be.
skin condition or something.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be a reoccurring thing, but then he just wears the mask for the rest of the film. I like that though, because like, you know, they should never unmask the bad guy anyway. I don't think that's a good idea. You know, give him a backstory. He doesn't need a backstory. That's the whole point. That's why he's scary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And the editing is real bad in this movie too. I just noticed that note on my phone. The editing is so bad.
Is it?
Oh man, it is like shocking how bad it is, and like it's so poorly shot as well. Actually, that's another thing. Like the camera work in this film is horrendous.
Man, that brain shot.
The brain shot's the best bit by a mile, but everything else is shit.
I didn't really notice. Like, yeah,
not a good time. Not a good time.
the ending is pretty cool though. Where she
The ending is pretty cool.
she steals, but it's also bizarre. You know, she steals a baby, and like drives
Brains
off.
the fucking sheriff.
Yeah, runs over. Yeah, absolutely.
She
creams
fucking
the
Matthew
sheriff.
McConaughey's him.
Yeah, she does that. Yeah. But like she's in the truck getting away, and then he stops, cause she's like freaking out or whatever. And then, but he stops at the gas station where all the fucking cannibals are at. And like in the space of time, where the sheriff walks from like the porch of the petrol station to like the cab of the truck, Jessica Biel has managed to run around, steal the baby from inside the cabin, and then run back around and hotwire the police car, which is also in front of the cabin, and like drive off and then run over the sheriff.
Multiple times.
Multiple timelines as well. I don't know how that works, but it was pretty cool anyway.
It was pretty cool. I
liked it.
And then I like the found footage stuff as well. But overall, I don't like this movie at all. Like I like a few bits, but the overall package is just garbage. It's so bad.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
In a good way.
Hot, steamy garbage.
Yeah.
From hot, steaming garbage to hot, steaming sex.
Well, I wouldn't say hot sex now. It's
No,
rather
and I
cold,
wouldn't say steamy
tepid.
either.
Yeah, I wouldn't say steamy. More
Eyes wide shut.
uncomfortable. Eyes Wide Shut, a recommended film of the week. Stanley Kubrick's final film, 1999. This film,
The year of my birth.
yes, a landmark year. When was it released actually? The summer of 99.
I don't know.
I think it was the summer. Yeah, this film is 2 hours, nearly 3 hours long.
Yeah, it's long as shit.
It's also its production involved the longest continuous shoot in the history of film production. It was 400 days from the opening day of filming to the last, which meant all the actors involved were like tied down to this project for a year and a half. So like Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman weren't in any films in 1999 because they were shooting this film for the entire time.
Yeah.
And it sort of shows because this film is like so excessive and self-absorbed and like just like bloated. It's ridiculous. It's just
It is. It is like
yeah.
it is like the equivalent of like The Irishman, nearly.
It's the fattest film I've ever seen. It's like so. It's based on the novel Trom Novelle from like the 20s, which is part of the decadent movement of literature, apparently, which really makes sense because this is the most decadent film I've ever seen.
Yeah, holy shit. This film feels like Giallo films, nearly, in a sense. Is that level of like high society richness.
Yeah, all the boys. Yeah, everyone's just like everyone's rich as fuck in this, which is like, you know, this film has a reputation as like being like about like perverts and like sex and like orgies and stuff. But like I was sort of surprised myself to find that it's actually not really about any of those things. It was marketed as like an erotic thriller, like
Which it's not.
It's not at all. It's like, well, basically Tom Cruise's character, like the people we follow, they're doctors. They're like sort of upper middle class, upper crust kind of people, and they fall into this really weird kind of trip with like old money, and the whole point, I think, is that the whole thing is about social relations. I don't think it has anything to do with like, you know, perversions or like sort of insular conceptions of marriage or like personal relationships. I think it's definitely more of a social kind of thing. Like it's a Stanley Kubrick film, and this, like, he's known for being like, you know, kind of autistic. All his characters are like robots and stuff, and everyone in this film acts like an alien who's like read about human emotions and is trying to replicate it. I think that's like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's style anyway, but like this film just takes it to this weird extreme where it has to be intentional, you know? Like they say things and like leave pauses for like 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. Like I watched this film on 1.25 speed, and it played as like a normal film. Like usually there's like, you can sort of notice people say things quicker, but everything, it played as if it was on. I had to check multiple times to make sure it was still playing it like fast.
Nicole Kidman talks so fucking slowly.
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
like, it is annoying. It is so fucking annoying because she'll talk like this.
You want to fuck me?
It's so
Yeah.
fucking long. Like, I think if this was like played like at normal speed and like people talk normally, this film is like an hour and a half.
Yeah. If people talked, yeah. If it was like, if it was a normal kind of pace, but like, you know, it's like, it's Kubrick. You know, it's that crazy kind of like perfectionist director. Like he's known for that kind of stuff. Like there's one scene in this film where apparently he made Tom Cruise walk through a door like 50 times, which is like, he's also like, he's known for fucking with his actors and like trying to provoke them,
Abuse them.
yeah, but at the same time, like, you had to pick out of those 50 shots, you had to pick one of them specifically for the film. There's no way that how self-absorbed and like bloated this film is not intentional, and the film sort of the way it pays off, and you really get into it after about half an hour. Like that really shows how there's definitely some intentional aspect to it, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the worst part of this film is the first half an hour. I think
So bad.
Because I think it's not subtle at all. It's slapping the themes in your face and letting you know, like, you know, because I think this film is definitely very much about sex and about, you know, women and men's relationships within, you know, sex, while also having that, you know, that societal thing as well, but also dealing with, like, you know, Tom Cruise, what's his name? Billy? Is that his
Bill,
name?
yeah,
Billy?
Bill Harford.
Yeah, Bill. Bill is definitely a man that, like, really deals with like a lot of toxic masculinity, I think, because like for me this film is about basically about a guy that, like, his masculinity like explodes at the thought that his wife like would fantasize about fucking someone else. Like his masculinity shatters, and the only way that he can pick it up is like by having sex with someone, but it needs to be like each attempt to have sex like it kind of escalates it into like another form of having sex. Like it starts off with like basically a mirror image of his, like what Nicole Kidman said to him about, like, you know, I saw this guy and I knew that if he wanted to, he could have me. And like talking about like this just glimpse with this moment that she had with this man that walked by. And then Tom Cruise leaves and he goes to a house. And in the situation of the house, he is that guy who could just take the woman from the husband and fuck her. And he could do that if he wanted to. But he steps away and he doesn't. And then he's going to have sex with the sex worker. And then he decides, because Nicole Kidman rings like, no, I'm not going to do this. But then it escalates further for him to go and then into like a fucking underground orgy cult.
Yeah, that was a wild party. Yeah, there's definitely there's that stuff in there. Like the fact that he's so gobsmacked at the idea that like his wife has some sort of agency of her own. Like he says, like they have that really weird scene where she like
that intensely misogynistic scene.
No, it's like the way they smoke a joint, and he's like,
yeah,
it's
the
like
shit afterwards.
Yeah, he's like this weed is making you aggressive, Alice. It's like the way he says everything,
gaslighting her and everything.
It's just the way like that's the thing. Like there's definitely that in there. But his reaction to all those things is so ridiculous and a divorced,
so weird,
divorced from human emotion or like any sort of like understanding of I don't know how humans work or desire works or whatever. That it can't be like, for me, like that can't be like the main message of the film or like the main reading, because it's just like Tom Cruise's character.
It's a multi-layered film.
There's definitely a lot of layers under there, under those cloaks. But like Bill Harford is just like, he's a robot. It's like, this is almost a double feature with AI. Like AI about like a robot learning to be human. This is like Bill Harford is like a completely empty husk of a person who does not understand like basic sort of social relationships at all. And like he's absolutely like, as you say, he's devastated by the idea that his wife has any sort of internal life of her own. And so he's like sort of forced to go off into this bizarre kind of like, he just like degenerates into himself, but like also like outside into the world.
You know, it, like in a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of like an Alice in Wonderland situation, and it's especially because of the over like what's beyond the rainbow like thing that's going on. Because he's with the two supermodels, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring you somewhere," and he's like, "Oh, where are you gonna bring me?" Because like there's that thing where like he's flirting with two supermodels, meanwhile his wife is also flirting with someone. And that is like such a God. You could really taste the the like sexual tension in the air in both of those fucking situations.
Yeah.
I was really uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to see this.
That guy was weird, you know? It's like talking about like, you know, women get married to have sex with other men. It's like, that's like, what are you talking about? Like, just the things she was saying is just ridiculous.
It's like, have you ever heard of like the poet like Ovid or something?
Yeah,
he's like, he ended up dying alone or whatever, sad and alone or whatever. And he's like, yes, but he had a great time before that. And it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's wrong with you, man? Like, that guy's a fucking. That's why he wasn't invited to the fucking orgy. They're like, that guy's
like,
that guy's
dude's
weird.
too fucking weird.
Yeah, he just be weird about it, like. But yeah, there's that initial scene, like. The first half an hour is just like, I was not enjoying it. I was like, maybe this was a mistake, because I'd never seen this before. I was like, maybe this is a mistake recommending this, because it's like what are we going to talk about? But like, I think the point where it sort of becomes more intentional and you get more of a grasp on it is that scene where they're like, they smoke a joint and like they have like the weirdest reaction to weed anyone's ever had, and they like she has that laughing fit which goes on for like 2 minutes, but it's like she's in pain and stuff. And like Tom Cruise is sitting there on the bed, like completely hairless, talking like this and repeating everything that she says back to her. And it's like these people are not normal. These people are fucked. Like there's something, they're more archetypes than characters or like human beings. You know, like Bill Harford is definitely some kind of Stanley Kubrick self-insert kind of thing, you know. Like just completely.
Yeah, he's like autistic in how he goes about how he like focuses in on one thing really specifically. But this just happens to be the idea of his wife having sex with someone else.
Yeah, it's bizarre because like I didn't know the ending. Right, I didn't know much about the film going in, and there's scenes where he's being followed and stuff, and
God, that was really spooky.
Yeah, like for the first like hour and a half. I was just thinking this is like all sort of in his head, and the whole point is like the orgy didn't happen, and we're gonna go back to the scene, the weed scene, and it's just gonna, you know, that's it. But like then it becomes apparent that like all this stuff actually did happen, and it wasn't in his head, and he like his stalkers weren't like sort of personifications of his desire following down the street or whatever. It was like it was actually people stalking him, and like it has real world consequences. Because it all starts off with that Alice and Bill go to a party run by this guy called Ziegler, who is also in Sopranos. I think his name is Sidney Pollack. He's a director, and he plays the character Ziegler. But Ziegler is like it's like this kind of Epstein kind of mansion that he holds the party in. It's like this massive thing, and like he's clearly from old money, like the kind of money that even though Bill and Alice are rich, they could never imagine like
the wealth that he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ziegler and Bill are still kind of mates, and Bill bails him out during the party when like a hooker or like this girl called Amanda, I think, ODs in his room. And so Bill, like, you know, he works his doctor magic and is like, can you hear me? It's like, wake up. And like he just basically doesn't do anything else, just gets her to wake up. But like that's why that's why Alice is suspicious about him being absent for a while. And then it leads on to the scene where she's like, did you fuck those two girls? And that goes on for like 15 minutes. But basically they have like a crisis.
But it's amazing acting as well.
Yeah, it's like it's hypnotic really. And the fact that like they obviously did dozens of takes of that scene. Like there's a very intentional kind of hypnotic sense to it. And it's very, very deliberate in the way it's shot, and even said as well. It's really annoying as well, but it clearly has a place within the film. But like they have their crisis situation, the relationship, and then Bill gets a call. He's like, "Oh, my patient has just died," and he has to go visit the patient for some reason. And he shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, he's dead." And he has that encounter with the woman.
He's with the daughter.
Yeah, he's with the daughter. She tries to get him, whatever. And then he goes out, and he runs into like another sex worker on the street, and he goes up, and he's gonna have sex with her, but then gets a call from Alice, and he's like, "No, I can't do this," and he pays her anyway. But he walks out, and he meets up with a friend who was a piano player at the party from before.
At the party, yeah.
And he meets up with him at like 1 a.m. or something like that, and he tells him about this secret party that he's going to play piano at, and he can't tell him anything about it. Like he has to play blindfolded and all this stuff. I think there's definitely a lot there about the personal aspect of it, like the psychosocial kind of thing, where it's like Bill's desire just sort of, he's like focusing in on this one thing, like trying to satisfy this desire to just, you know, fuck something basically. So he gets like the password Fidelio, which is also a reference to, you know, fidelity or whatever. And eventually his mate Nick gives him the address of where the party is. But like when he shows up to the party, he shows up in a taxi, and he shows up with fucking this cheap costume.
The costume.
Yeah.
But like, just to throw back to the rainbow thing, right? So like the two models he's talking to are like, he's like, where are we going? And they say like, be like to the other side of the rainbow or whatever. The shop that he gets the costumes from is called the Rainbow Costume Shop. Like that's the start of the rainbow. And then he goes over the rainbow, and he doesn't like what he sees, and he comes back and he gives back the clothes. He's like, fuck that. Like I don't like the other side of the rainbow.
Yeah, he's so awkward at the party. Like everyone sees him straight away. Basically, they're like, you're not from here. Like.
Yeah,
and
they immediately know like you're not old money.
Yeah, you don't belong here, and it's revealed later. Like Ziegler tells him, it's like, yeah, you left a receipt for the fucking costume in your jacket.
He showed up in a taxi.
And he showed up in a taxi, and the taxi man called to the door and all this stuff. But like, yeah, he's at the party, and wearing his mask, and like everyone's like, they have these weird like droning music going on in the background.
God, it's awful.
I think it's a really weird orgy scene. Like it's so sort of it's just like really crass.
It's people as like objects, basically.
Yeah. But it's not even a good orgy scene. It's like nothing happens. Like no one's really having sex. Like it's just like
people are just sitting around watching.
Yeah, or like people are just sitting around. It's like the worst or the most extreme thing that's happening is like lesbians, but like it's just people watching that, and like he like Bill's walking around. I think it's good acting on Tom Cruise's part, because you can still tell it's Bill like being really awkward. And like not understanding what's going on in any of this.
Yeah, being so out of place.
Yeah. and like one of the girls comes up to him and is like, "Oh, yeah, you don't belong here, do you? You need to leave now, or else your life will be in danger." And he's like, "Nah, fuck that, it's grand."
What do you know, woman?
Yeah. But yeah, then they call him out. The most terrifying scene. Like everything
Oh god,
everything builds up to this moment.
So scary.
Yeah, where he gets called out. He's like, "Oh yeah, sir, are you the man with the taxi waiting outside?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, the taxi man wants to talk to you at the door." And they call him out to like the lobby. And everyone's gathered around the big circle, and like the
Oh, it's so you're literally like, oh, he is fucked. This is not gonna end well.
Yeah, they're about to sacrifice him or whatever. It's just
Well,
like,
they just like take off your clothes and just like what that mean. That could mean so many different things, and we never get to find out like what that means.
yeah. But then the girl who like warned him about it initially steps up. She's like, I will vouch for him. I will like take his punishment for him. And it's like it's never revealed what the punishment is, and he leaves. And the whole point is like he's trying to figure out what the fuck was happening there. Like after that, because he wakes the next morning, he goes to check on his mate, the piano player, and he's been kidnapped or something. And like he checked out of the hotel like straight away that morning, and he was escorted by two big men. He had a black eye and stuff. And you follow him around, and eventually he gets back to Ziegler's apartment, and Ziegler reveals that he was also at the party. And
oh no, you don't, because he finds out that the supermodel had died, and he's like, that was the girl from the party.
Yeah.
But he also finds out like he tries to like repeat nearly what he did the night before in a certain way, because first he's like, oh fuck this, like. He's trying to figure out whatever, and he can't find out. So then he just like leaves that alone. He's like, "Oh, I'll pursue like my other two choices, which was like the sex worker and the wife or whatever." And he rings the wife, and then the husband answers the phone. He's like, "Oh fuck that!" And then he goes off and he tries to find the sex worker, and then he finds out that she had HIV.
Yeah.
And she's just like got up and bailed. And is like, oh no, that's not a potentiality anymore. And then he gets called back to the other side of the rainbow, and it's like, you ever come around here again, we're gonna fucking kill you and your family, and you're fucked.
Yeah. And that's basically it. Like it's never revealed what's going on there.
We never find out what happened.
Yeah, but the ending scene does really play into what you're talking about in terms of like it's just them talking, and then she's like, it's like, oh, we need to do something as soon as possible. He's like, what? It's like, we need to fuck. And like, that's the end. So like, that's definitely like a more marital reading, I suppose, or like the sexual reading.
Yeah. I think the sexual reading is like really heavy, but I do enjoy what you're saying about like, we kind of talked about this before the podcast, but you're like, that's like the mask that the film is wearing itself, that there's something going on even beyond that point. And I do 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, like Sidney Pollack as Ziegler, man, he even looks like Jeffrey Epstein. Like this film is saying something. And like, it's never explained. Like you could read it as like desire, as like this sort of elusive thing. You can never really understand it. And something that will never be resolved. And you'll always sort of be chasing it. But like you'll be kept away from it almost for your own good or whatever. But like there's also the social aspect, which I sort of caught onto with the fact that like he's just this fucking like this schmuck who's like, he's well off but he's not rich, and he can never understand how rich these people are. Like they have their own passcodes, and like he walks into a room and straight away everyone, even though this guy's rich, everyone in the room knows you're not as rich as we are. Like you don't know what's actually going on here. And there's like things that Ziegler says to him in the office at the end, and he's like, if you knew the people that were there, you wouldn't really sleep at night. It's like, like Stanley Kubrick died about a month before this was released. It's like, what happened there, man? What's that all about?
What happened?
What happened there? I read one of the reviews, because this wasn't received that well when it came out. I read one of the reviews that said it's like something about it's not grounded in reality, which is already a pretty like crazy kind of accusation to throw at like an erotic thriller, at least. It's like it's not grounded in reality. But he's like, oh, who are these people in New York running off to masked orgies and all this stuff? It's like oh, that's like literally grounded in like that actually happened. Like these things actually happened. Yeah, it's all to some extent a lot of what happens is true.
Like a lot of the time it's even worse than what's going on in the film.
Yeah. There's no kids in the film. Yeah. but like there's a lot of ways to read it because it's a very mysterious film. It's really elusive.
It is, and it's very like a very quiet movie, a very like thoughtful film. It gives you a lot of time to breathe, a lot of time to like process what's being said or what's just been said, or like what's going on and what it might mean or whatever. It gives you a lot of time for that. And I enjoy that film. I like it for that. There was a point in the film where I was like, is this I was like, this is an extremely misogynistic film. Like every single woman in this film is there to either like be fucked or be exploited. And like it got like that's the way the entire film. But then at one point I copped it like, oh no, this is from Bill's perspective. This isn't not that what's happening isn't actually happening. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's a figment of his imagination, but this is like just the world that he is in, and women are that in the world, and it is that being like pushed upon in the film. Like this is his part of his masculinity and how fragile it is, and because of that, it leads him down this fucking rabbit hole of horrors, and he gets to the point where like, no, I actually can't handle this, and I need to get the fuck out of here, and I need to go back to my wife, and I need to apologize, and then we need to just fuck so that I can eventually get rid of these blue balls that I've had for 2 days.
Yeah. But it's like Tom Cruise's character is just such a bizarre caricature of someone who's so
weird,
so like unself-aware. Like the scene. Like I know it was 1999. Like I don't know. Like maybe things were really, really like a lot more different than I thought back then. But the scene where she's like, "Oh, I once fantasized about being with another man." Like he basically his entire life like flashes before his eyes. It's like, does this like what's like? How does this guy live in the world?
And then he just keeps imagining it as well. Like he's imagining this man that he's never seen just fucking his wife.
Yeah, but it's like it never occurred to him ever before. Like I can't believe him as a character. Like it has to be some kind of weird kind of robot AI kind of thing. Like he's such a ridiculous character. But like he's so naive as well. He's such a nice guy, basically, in terms of everything else. Whereas like when he it really contrasts when he goes to like the old money and stuff. These people are so serious about it, and they're not like, he's really open to things. Like he just sort of goes along, or he is anyway, within that kind of time frame when he's like trying to get his haul. But like these people are just like clearly on an entirely different level. Like their desire is more like codified rather than something they're pursuing.
Yeah.
Bizarre film.
It is a bizarre film. Actually, I was just looking at my notes there, and I forgot one of the things as well that happens, which I think definitely ties into the masculinity aspect of the film, is after he refuses to have sex with the wife of with the daughter of the dead guy or whatever. He's like walking down the road or whatever, and this group of like big macho guys come up and start calling him like, they call him slurs, and they push him around, they call him like a pussy or whatever, and then he like walks away, and then it's just like, it is just like, yeah, like his mask, he's like, damn, I can't, my wife doesn't like fantasize about fucking other people, and I can't, I don't want to fuck someone else's wife, so he gets like a sex worker, and then that doesn't work either, so I think it definitely builds upon each other very, very neatly. But I don't know what the fuck that shit was about the costume place.
Yeah.
And the guy,
he sells his daughter into like slavery or something.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know how to read that now, but that was actually a really funny scene at the start when he initially meets him. It was pretty funny, the whole thing is like,
yeah, he's like, come on down.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like two naked Chinese guys and then his daughter in like the back room.
And she's like under 18 as well. She's like 16 or 15 or something. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, why is this in the film? And then it comes back. And I'm still not sure why it's in the film, but like, it's definitely there for a reason anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, even like, because that was like the start of the rainbow nearly or something. I don't know. Maybe like,
yeah,
like, even like all aspects of the rainbow are off guards. Don't fucking touch it or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the start of the rainbow just sort of tells you, what it leads into,
Even the fact that like her name is Alice as well, like Alice in Wonderland
Mm.
and stuff like that. There's definitely like the idea of like fantasy in this film, and like I think that ties into the this is so like bizarre and so like out of this world, but it's also shit that actually happens, and I think that's kind of the point as well, that there is a sense of fantasy in this film and a sense of fiction. And it
Mm.
is fiction, obviously, but like that the idea of like a bunch of rich people, going to some place and having orgies would be like it's a conspiracy theory, it's fantasy, but it's real
But,
and it does actually happen.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, I think like even on like a deeper level, in like a vertical sense, like Bill's interactions with like sex workers and stuff, or even his like relationship with uh Mandy or Amanda, like the girl who takes his place and gets killed for it.
Mm.
I think it says a lot about the sort of the class aspects of it. Like even when he's asking Ziegler about it, he's like, "What happened to the girl who took my place?" He's like, "She was just a hooker, you know. She was nothing." That's the truth
And
of it.
then she's a huge supermodel.
Yeah, she's like a beauty contestant, but like even then it's like she's just sort of there. She's below even Bill on the scale, you know. And then you have the like Domino, I think her name is, the street worker who he nearly has sex with. Like she just gets HIV and sort of like leaves the film, but like at the same time she's basically at the mercy of Bill the entire time. And like it never enters into his head until the very end of the film that he's also at the mercy of something else entirely, like something much bigger than him that he can never imagine, you know.
Yeah, he's not the big fish in the pond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, like he's kind to Domino, but like what if he wasn't kind to her? And like that's what's happening with Ziegler and the boys, all those masked fellas in the big mansion in the hills. So
Yeah, I think as well that but that's a cool like idea of like class as well. That the guy like sees this like beauty queen who's like clearly very rich as well, and very well off, and he just sees her as like just some hooker. Like that's what he calls her. But it's like that she's not actually like she's not a sex worker. Not that there's anything wrong with being a sex worker, but in terms of class, you know what I mean. That like he just sees like you're either rich, you're either in the elite, you're one of the ones that are masked, or you're nothing. And like that's it. It's black and white basically. And if you're not in the rich, if you're not part of the elite, we can do whatever we want with you basically.
Yeah. Like Bill is the same basically as Amanda in the same sort of social position. Like he sells his labor, and he's been really successful at it. I'm not sure what he does as a doctor as well. Like they have like a montage scene where he's just like he's doing like eye tests.
He's just doing loads of different
and then he's
shit.
like he's like staring at a woman's breasts, and it's like he's like doing random things, but like he's like really successful, and she's really successful as like a beauty queen or whatever. But at the same time, they're both filth. They're both nothing. You can't earn your way into whatever's going on in that mansion. You know, it's something
you just don't belong.
Yeah, you don't belong there. Whatever's happening, you know, it's just like stay out of it and don't keep looking.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask the questions. It's
it's a good movie overall. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it is like pretty unmerciful in like how boring it is in a lot of ways. But I think it is like it's the same thing that we talked about like Sopranos a while ago, where like the slowness is very intentional, and it's also amazingly shot. It's beautiful to look at.
It's Kubrick. You know, he knows
it's very opulent.
He knows his stuff. Yeah, it's like hypnotic. Like the first half hour is mad boring, like, but after that, I really got into it. I thought it was really good. But it's not like it's like it's like a roller coaster, surprise a minute or whatever. It's more like just sort of. It's like hypnotic, and it just brings you along with whatever it's doing, and definitely worth a look.
And it's doing a lot.
It's doing a lot of things, whatever they are. So yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool movie. I'm glad I watched it anyway. You know.
Yeah, same. I'm glad I watched it too.
Big K.
Excuse me, 100%.
God bless him. You know. He
Yeah.
was onto something.
He was
onto it.
What's your favorite Kubrick movie?
Probably Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really like that film. I love the book as well. The book's amazing.
The book is amazing.
I'd say I love 2001 as well, but I've never watched 2001 in one sitting. Like, it's so hard to get through. But I really love. I love the whole thing. You know.
I've only watched Clockwork Orange the one time, ages ago. I think that time when we were all watching after my party.
Were we?
Yeah, I remember it was me, you, Dan, and Bucko watching it.
What? I don't remember that now. Oh wait,
Yeah,
I do.
18th.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah, that
4 years ago this year, man.
no.
Holy shit.
Oh, no. 4 years ago.
So I haven't seen it in 4 years.
What? Oh, I barely remember that. Yeah. What the fuck? What were we?
That's the
why
last time I've seen the
why
film.
were we doing that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely need to watch that again. I haven't seen that in ages. And 2001.
2001 is a trip.
It is a trip. Definitely a trip.
Very long trip.
One that I might not be ready for. And, very, very long, very boring, very slow.
Yeah.
Very, very
A
slow.
lot of monkeys. I love that.
But, I'll give it a shot. Give it a go.
Yeah.
See how we get on. Do you want to go into listener questions now?
Yeah, absolutely.
We only have 2 questions. Oh, no, we only have 1 question,
Not
actually.
really. Full
Yeah, and
time,
then we got
1-0
2
to Brighton.
responses.
Fuck that. Graham City. Graham.
That is bleak, man.
That's
That is bleak.
That's fucking bleak.
And now, onto the listener questions. If you have a question, hot take, or, abuse, we take all forms of questions, hot takes, and abuses. You can hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Paro_pod, or you can ask us anything or whatever at theparopod@gmail.com.
That's it.
Almost fucked it up there, but I saved it at the end.
Oof. In the clutch.
So the first question is coming in from Connor Scully, and Connor saying, thoughts on the decline of The Simpsons. Don't know what decline you're talking about, bro. Stayed good all the way
Still
through.
good, man. Still good. Yeah. No, Simpsons is bad.
Yeah,
Simpsons is bad.
Simpsons is real
It's
bad.
a
now.
travesty. Travesty what happened to them.
Shocking. It's sad
Yeah.
because it is really good, and it's it's one of the reasons to keep Disney Plus is to watch those first 10 seasons.
Exactly, yeah. But like, I would never trust someone who goes out of their way to watch any new Simpsons episode, You know, that kind of person
would you?
needs help. Why would you do that, Especially
Yeah, you've already had 10 seasons. Let it go, man.
Yeah. But like, I remember I was reading about one of the later great episodes, apparently. It's what people said. It was like episode season 18, I think, which is still ages ago. That's like 12 years ago now. But it was an episode where Homer thinks that everyone hates him or something. He wants to jump off a bridge. And he falls.
Jesus.
He falls onto a bouncy castle in the end, and everyone throws a party or something like that. But I remember reading about how this is like a sort of like late classic in the Simpsons series, and I watched it, and it was absolutely shite. It was absolute rubbish. It was like
It was just a good episode by the standards.
yeah, if you put that in season like any of the first 10 seasons, it would be skipped over every single time. It's just terrible. There's not a single decent episode past like season 12-ish.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's weird, and it's kind of sad because like going back and watching, especially the first season, man. Each episode deals with a topic and deals with it in a really heartful way. Nearly, I don't know how to describe it. It's really good. Like like a marriage breaking up. Like it happens a few times in The Simpsons, but like in the early seasons, you have marriage potentially having an affair with someone, and just the sadness in that and all that stuff. It's just really good.
It's supposed to be for
really, really good.
That was the original gimmick. It was cartoons for adults. Now it's just cartoons for like idiots, for people who still watch the new episodes.
You still watch the Simpsons.
You still watch the Simpsons full stop. It's just there's nothing to it now. It's like Family Guy started out as like a copy of the Simpsons, and somehow Family Guy became better than the Simpsons a few seasons in, which is just more an indictment of the Simpsons than it is a Family Guy.
Because Family Guy is shit.
Yeah, exactly.
remember watching a couple episodes with Neil in Vancouver, and we just watched two. And we're like, that was terrible. That was so bad.
Yeah.
You have to look up a list for Family Guy and watch the ones on the lists. Like the Road 2 ones are good, but fuck me, like
They're-
just knocking on a random
Yeah.
episode, they're more than likely just gonna be shit.
There are a few good ones, yeah, definitely. But like, they're still better than The Simpsons nowadays. Well, actually, I haven't seen them recently, but some of them are.
I said they're shit as well at this stage.
Yeah.
Futurama stayed consistently good.
Futurama actually did, yeah. It was never reached the heights of The Simpsons, but it was always watchable. I remember I rewatched it in like 2017ish. I think it was like first year of college. I rewatched the entire series, and it was remarkable how consistent it was. It was like 7, 8.
Yeah, Isabel watched it recently.
Yeah,
as well.
7, 8 seasons now. Like every episode has like a laugh or two in it at least. You know?
Yeah, and then they have that season where it's just like 4 movies in one, basically.
I thought they were terrible, to be fair.
Yeah, they're not good, but
Yeah.
I like the time travel one in the first one, Bender's Big Score, I think it is. The time travel aspect of that is cool. But yeah, that's how bad The Simpsons is that we just completely went off topic.
Yeah, there's not much to say.
I don't know. I think Simpsons just got too big, and now it's at the point where like it'll just never end.
Yeah, it's just a fucking cash cow, you know? I think they're making a second film, which would be a terrible idea.
That's a terrible, terrible idea. God, that's so sad. Poor Simpsons. They were so good. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, off that depressing topic. Do you want to take our question to the listener?
Our question to the listeners is: thoughts on director's cuts? Are they necessary? What are ones you like or don't like? So our first response is from Connor as well. Not sure if it counts, but the extended Lord of the Rings films are the only way to watch that series. I've never watched the extended versions of them, but
Me neither, man. My sister was
they're already pretty long.
watching. My sister was watching a clip of the third one,
Mm.
just on YouTube or something. When I walked in, she was doing it for college, and it just had like on the side like YouTube's ad for like to buy the extended cut of like the third film, and it was 4.5 hours long.
No, I would never watch a film that's that long. Never. I think Lord of the Rings is way too long as it is. So
Oh god, it's so
I
long
could not.
already.
I could not
But
go
I
with
think
extended.
I think one day I'll be like, yeah, I got 16 hours to spend just, sitting there watching movies.
I got 16 free hours. Yeah. Until that day, I don't think I'd ever look at that now. Like I wouldn't.
Like that is so
Yeah,
long.
like I wouldn't be able to sit through Lord of the Rings, as it is. Is it like it's all one movie? Is it the extended cut, or there's like a?
No. It's each part has an extended
But
cut.
isn't there one that exists that's like, you can make it into one film?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to watch them as they currently exist. So I could definitely extended cuts. Not for me.
Wait, let's have a look. Lord of the Rings
Super cut.
extended runtime. So first one is 3.4 hours.
Fuck.
Then the second one is 3.7, and then the last one is 4.1
Nah.
hours. So that's a long time.
It
Can't be
costs,
arsed watching that.
costs £100.
I'm not for the extended cuts of movies most of the time, but like, I think Neil says, where is this? Yeah, Neil's like the second reply, and Neil was like, usually add a few cool scenes, but at the expense of making it 3.5 hours longer. And I agree with that. Like, I don't mind like a director's cut, or like like an extended cut. Like sometimes they're more or less the same thing. But I don't like ones that are just like adding scenes for the reason it's just adding scenes. Like Apocalypse Now, I haven't seen it, but like, isn't it like 40 minutes we're just on a plantation that's got nothing to do with the rest of the film?
Yeah, they go to it's like something about colonialism, because they're all French and they're like, you need to get out of here, and like that's like, but like you sort of knew that already. It's like it's just 40 minutes, with a lot of French people, which is just sort of unnecessary. And like the parts I loved about the film were all already in the original, so very unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know, cause like with shit like that, I'm just like, that's just completely pointless. Like, there's no reason to add that in. That's just like, just wanking off a really already like critically acclaimed like film and director.
Yeah.
Like just be like, oh, this is how good it is. Here's more of it. Don't you want more of this? And I was like, no, I actually don't. I just like the original one.
No, I actually don't. I'm actually all right, man. Calm down.
I'm actually all right. Like it's pretty long to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, when's that? The Snyder Cut is coming out soon, actually, isn't it?
That's gonna be dog shit. I already know.
See,
Like, there's no.
They released a promotional image with Jared Leto's Joker. He's gonna be in it.
They just got rid of a load of his tattoos. Like these tattoos are shit. They need to go.
Like who signed off on that design in the first place? Like that's an aside, but like how did anyone ever think that was a good idea?
I think I will watch the Snyder Cut. I've never seen any of the other films. I don't think it really matters if I've seen any of the other films. I think you can just dive in and just watch that like 3.5 hour long mess.
Yeah. I've never seen. I only saw Batman versus Superman, and it wasn't that good. So I probably won't watch the Snyder Cut either. But I'll probably watch selected scenes on YouTube. That's what I think. I think films should be way shorter. Extended cuts, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think most what you already had 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
How much more do you need to fucking add in?
Actually, no, that wasn't long enough. That's why it was so bad. We need to have a 4-hour film instead. It's like, man, if your film's be that long, just forget about it. You fucked up.
I don't like extended like cuts most of the time. I don't mind director's cuts where they add on like a couple more minutes is fine. Like an extra 10 minutes, I'm okay. But when you get to 20 minutes, you're pushing it. You're pushing it there.
You're pushing your luck there, Ridley. Calm down.
But like I don't know, like fucking Alien. I think Aliens, like not Aliens, Alien, the original one. That like director's cut adds in like a very few scenes, but the effect that they have is huge. Like when you see the alien for the first time in the theatrical cut, it just like pops up and it's just there and it's scary. But in the director's cut, there's just a shot of like these chains hanging or whatever, and you just see it there, and it's just hanging there in the light, and you can see it, and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck is that? Oh shit, it's the alien. Like it takes you a second to realize what it is, and that just makes it like kind of scarier. And then it adds in the alien like taking them and like making face huggers basically, and like getting ready to start a hive, which is what the second film then is. Like the second film seems to like base its concept off that, which is in the original, like in the original film, but in the director's cut, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that stuff that it adds is cool, and I like it for that. But when you're adding in an extra 40 minutes, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, there's loads of examples of directors that like got fucked over, because you have like obviously the problem of bureaucratic oversight, like producers and stuff fucking up great films. Like I'm
sure Alien 3 could have been a great film.
Yeah, apparently
if it was just left
apparently Aliens 3 is actually pretty good, or it could have been amazing. But like then you have Alien, and you have Blade Runner, and you have, you know,
Blade Runner's one is like, I think that's my favorite like director's cut, because it basically fixed the fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's sort of shows how fine the margins are there when you're just making decisions based purely on the number of the runtime or whatever. Then you're fucking up. Like the director knows kind of like the ins and outs, like the instinctual, like he has like a sort of intuition, like or how to make the film. So like you trust that more than like an extended cut. What does an extended cut mean? You know, it's like they got some intern to like put together a super cut. It's like one of those YouTube rewind videos. It's just like everything thrown in there for no reason. You know, it's like director's cuts though. I approve. Unless they're too long.
Yeah, I don't really like extended cuts. I will eventually. So I definitely will watch Lord of the Rings like extended cut, because that like part of like the Lord of the Rings anyway is the length and how long they are. Like that's part of it anyway. So you know, you might as well make it like more intensely that. I make that more of the point. I make it more of a journey and an odyssey that you're going on with the characters. So I think like that extended cut is kind of akin to what the films are. But like I'm trying to think like, what's a really bad director's cut? Like a film, like a director's cut that like fucks up the movie.
I have no idea. I can't remember any. I'm looking some up right now. Donnie Darko. Is Donnie Darko the bad director's cut or the good director's cut?
Donnie Darko's the bad one, I think.
Is that the one where it makes it more confusing, or explains it or something?
I think I can't remember what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
can't remember either.
I can't remember what.
Well, yeah, Apocalypse Now. Apparently, Coppola made that Redux edition, so that was his choice to include the French plantation scenes.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Wait, hold on. What's the? Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, Donnie Darko's really hated because this includes 20 minutes of footage, digital effects, but mostly, substantially, some textual explanations for the ambiguous story developments. So it just explains what's going on, basically, and people don't like that. They want it to remain ambiguous, and that's something like, yeah, you're taking away the aspect that people like your film for, which is just a bad idea. That's such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Another one that I just saw there as well was Star Wars. Like the director's cut to them just adds in CGI that is aged poorly. that the original films haven't aged that way.
That's actually great. Like a director's cut that makes the film worse. It's like I never said I was gonna make it better. It's like he just intervenes and makes it worse.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. Apparently, Dumb and Dumber has a really bad director's cut, which I didn't know at all. Apparently, there's 3 versions.
Man, why is there so many director's cuts for films?
I don't know why Dumb and Dumber needs a director's cut. Because the directors who directed that, the Farrelly brothers, they're lucky they made a film as good as Dumb and Dumber. But apparently, the unrated cut includes scenes where the gangsters strangle Harry's pet bird, and Seabass spits into Harry's burger, and you see the mucus. But like that's the version I've always watched, and they said this is the worst version of Dumb and Dumber. I was like, oh my god, maybe
Dumb and Dumber is just a bad movie.
No, that's one of my favorite movies. But like, apparently I've been watching the unrated version for the past 20 years.
The X-rated version.
X-rated Dumb and Dumber. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was sorry. I was just gonna think of there, like, I think as well, like something that I don't like about the idea of like director's cuts as well is, like, I enjoy watching a film and being very clear that the auteur's intent is there, or whatever. Like, I think that's cool. I think like with Kubrick earlier, that like plays into the part, like, the excess of the film is so very clearly like intentional in a very serious way, because you can tell that that's what Kubrick meant. But like, a director's cut of Dumb and Dumber isn't gonna fucking change much, and like it kind of overemphasizes, I think, in a lot of ways, the role that directors play in filmmaking. Like, they are an important aspect, obviously. Like, they kind of head it all up, but there's so many different clogs and like gears turning to make a film work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think there's much auteurship in Dumb and Dumber and stuff like that. It's like if you're making a director's cut of like a comedy film with Jim Carrey in it, like you've completely oversold yourself as a director. It's like you were not.
Yeah, relax there, Scorsese.
Yeah, you did not. This film wasn't about you. This isn't your masterpiece, or whatever. This is just a film that you happen to be a director of. It's like you have no more authority to create a new cut than anyone else, really.
Yeah, Jim Carrey can demand it more than you
exactly,
can.
Yeah, fuck that. Director's cuts.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm just looking through this list again. What's the number one? What's the best one? Best one, according to this list, is
Star Wars.
Oh no, that's the worst. The best one is Once Upon a Time in America, which is already excruciatingly long anyway to begin with.
I was going to watch that the other week.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's actually shorter. It's actually a shorter version. It's a condensed, shorter version of the film.
All right. Yeah, that's on.
Scrapes nearly 20 minutes off.
That's on Mubi. So I'm gonna have a look at that at some point. Maybe for the next episode. Probably not. 4 hours.
I know 4 hours, very long film.
Yeah,
very long.
Double speed. I would do a double speed, but Mubi doesn't have that option. So, which is really one of the drawbacks of Mubi.
You bastard. Yeah, you have to watch it.
You actually have to watch the film. Sorry, not for me. That's not what I'm here for.
Nah, fuck that. But yeah, what are you like some of your favorite like director's cuts? What's your opinion on director's cuts as a whole?
Sonic Adventures DX is my favorite ever director's cut. It's my favorite video game of all time.
Oh yeah, video game director
Yeah.
cuts are hilarious.
Sonic Adventures. I have it on this computer, right? It's the only video game this computer can play for some reason. That's a director's cut. It's pretty good. My favorite director's cuts, I've no idea. I don't really think about that stuff.
Yeah, same.
You know, I don't seek them out really.
But if you're looking up, if you're looking up a film and you see it has a director's cut, do you look up to see if the director's cut is better to watch?
Nah, not really. Like obviously the Dumb and Dumber
Fair.
thing, you know. It's like I've been watching the director's cut for the past 20 years. I didn't even know. You know, but that's not even the default version. I don't know how I did that. But
obviously that's the one that's just more widely watched.
yeah, maybe.
Because especially if you buy like Star Wars on Blu-ray now,
That's
you're gonna get the director's cut, and you might not even know that. You wouldn't even because the director's cut keeps like overtaking the original. And even with like fucking Blade Runner, people are like, oh yeah, Blade Runner is amazing, but don't watch any other version. Don't watch the original version. You have to watch the director's cut because that is the authentic film. That is the director's cut has become the movie itself. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, like I used to watch Star Wars all the time, but we used to have like VHS tapes, like videotapes that we'd play, and they were like recordings of the TV basically. And so it was like whenever Star Wars was on Channel 4, like they'd record it, and then we just played that tape again and again and again. So like that was the original version that we'd recorded. So like I had the Force Ghosts were like, you know, the old like the just people, like the actual actors in the original trilogy, but just sort of like looking sort of ghost like. Whereas then like I think we watched like one of the DVDs. We got like the DVD set later. I was watching one of them, and had like Anakin as Hayden Christensen, and everyone was different. I remember noticing that. I don't know what other differences there are, except for like the bad CGI. But I just remember noticing that bad CGI, like it was really sort of in your face, and I felt so betrayed. I was like this just sort of ruined the film, or it's just like if you feel kind of, it's like if this is wrong, like what else could be wrong? Like what else have I been sort of lied about? You know, in the previous 2 hours, you know.
Did Han shoot first?
Yeah. But yeah, that's my first memory of different versions of films.
It's annoying. It's
fuck
annoying
that.
as fuck.
Fuck that.
Just like make the best version possible, please, and you don't have to like give a fucking director's cut, because man, every film is a director's cut at this stage. Holy shit.
Yeah, pure notions. It's all that is the digital devices, you know. Back in the day, you had to like physically cut the film and make it into your own thing. Like nowadays, you just, you know, fucking Zack Snyder's.
Oh yeah, we still have those files.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's there, like in his gaff, like fucking scratching his balls in his underwear on his Mac, putting together Justice League, the movie, Snyder Cut, whatever, you know. Like, he's not like on the floor like, oh, which scene would be best for this? He's just like, that sort of works. Let's just go with that, you know. It sort of removes the finality of it, you know, because everything's so interchangeable.
Yeah, God. I don't like Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about him. I think Watchmen's amazing.
He's never made a good movie.
Watchmen's amazing, man.
I haven't seen Watchmen.
Watch Watchmen. It's very good.
But I've read the comics, so I know I'm not going to like it then.
Why?
Because it's bad. I have seen it. I've seen it years ago when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't get that. I just think it's really boring.
Watchmen's great, man.
Yeah,
Watchmen is one of the greatest superhero films of all time.
That's a bold claim.
How's that a bold claim? Everyone accepts that. That's a well-known fact.
I don't think they do.
That's a fact.
I don't think they do,
man, Watchmen is acclaimed. Watchmen is acclaimed.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
see. I'll check it out. We'll see.
I was being I was exaggerating there, but it's definitely among the best. Especially in terms of DC. We're talking DC here. Easily the best.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, DC's bar is very, very low.
All the bars.
And to be fair, also Zack Snyder's bar is also very, very low. So
yeah, true.
At least he made Watchmen. Would you want to leave it at that?
Let's leave it at that. So, what's your recommendation for episode 27?
Well, it's funny, Mark, that we were talking about superheroes. Because I've been thinking, I was like, what will we watch? What's a film that will spark some conversation? And I've been watching a couple of superhero movies at the moment, and I was saying it to some of my friends in the film club, and Robin was talking about this film called Toxic Avenger, directed by the great sexploitation director Lloyd Kaufman. This is a 80-minute long film. It's on YouTube. Man,
What?
let's do this.
What?
It's a
What?
sexploitation
You
movie.
didn't tell me about
It
this.
critiques. I know. I pulled this.
You fucking pulled the rug from underneath me here. My God.
Yeah.
Pull the wool over my eyes. The Toxic Avenger.
Out of the people I know that have seen this movie, Robin loves it, and Liam and Patrick fucking hate it. So I think it's perfect. I think it's what we need.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's go for that.
It's like the complete opposite of Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. We'll see what happens. Toxic Avenger. Absolutely.
A brand new adventure.
Can't wait. I'm pumped.
Also, another thing. Do you want to keep going down this Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, or do you want
Nah.
to stop here at the
Forget it.
remake? Forget it. Okay. Thank God.
Nah, fuck that. We'll find something else. We'll take a week break and think of we'll get the old brain juices stewing, you know? See what happens.
Man, thank fuck, because I was like, I don't want to
Man,
watch three more films which are basically the same
I'm
thing.
glad we watched that last one because that sort of redeemed the sequels for me. So
Holy shit! Hey, on, what's your favorite sequel? Is that your favorite
the
sequel?
remake,
then?
yeah. But like based on our conversation last week about the fourth one does have a special place in my heart.
Same. I
You
think
know?
the fourth one's my favorite one.
Something about it. But like the second and the third one, just like I would never ever watch them again.
No.
Wouldn't be arsed.
Fuck
I wouldn't
that.
watch the remake.
I think it's worth watching the fourth one.
Yeah.
though, just to see how weird it is.
Get everyone around like a TV and stick the fourth one on. Like that'd be good fun. I think I'd never watch the remake again either. But like I think it did its job. You know, it's like you can send it into retirement. But yeah, the fourth one that'd be a fun sort of party movie.
It's so weird.
We're with the Illuminati. We're here for an inspection.
You don't think the CIA got this place bugged out here? Oh, fucking hell! What a movie.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. God bless him.
God bless. Good luck.